everyone, and welcome back to EduTalks. Today we're going to focus on one of the most effective and powerful methods for improving your English speaking skills, shadowing. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly is shadowing, and why is it so helpful? Shadowing is a simple yet transformative technique where you listen to a sentence in English and immediately repeat it out loud. The goal is to copy the pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation as closely as possible. It's almost like stepping into the shoes of a native speaker and performing their words as if you were acting in a play. The benefits of shadowing are remarkable. It helps you polish your pronunciation and sound much more natural. It also sharpens your listening skills, allowing you to catch real-life English conversations in movies, podcasts, and daily communication. At the same time, it builds your speaking confidence because you're practicing actively, in the moment, without hesitation. Most importantly, shadowing trains your brain to think in English instead of translating from your native language. That's the real secret. When you practice consistently, you'll notice faster progress than you thought possible. You'll begin to feel comfortable speaking, your fluency will increase, and your English will sound smoother and more confident. So in today's session, we'll be practicing daily routine sentences. These aren't random lines, they're practical, useful, and designed for real conversations you have every single day. Perfect material to improve your speaking skills. Here's the plan. I'll read each sentence slowly and clearly. Then I'll pause so you can repeat after me. Don't hold back. Speak with energy, clarity, and confidence. This is your English workout, and the more you shadow, the stronger your English will become. All right, let's begin our daily routine shadowing practice. Listen carefully to each sentence and then repeat after me. I usually wake up at 6:30 every morning. Sometimes I press the snooze button before getting out of bed. The first thing I do is stretch my body and take a deep breath. I like to open the window to feel the fresh morning air. After that, I go straight to the bathroom to wash my face. I brush my teeth slowly and carefully for 2 full minutes. Sometimes I use mouthwash to feel extra fresh. I often take a quick shower to wake myself up completely. While showering, I think about what I want to achieve today. After the shower, I dry my hair and put on some clean clothes. I sometimes prepare my outfit the night before to save time. I check the mirror to make sure I look neat and ready. Before eating, I usually drink a big glass of water. For breakfast, I prepare something simple like bread and eggs. Sometimes I eat oatmeal with fruits instead. On weekends, I enjoy cooking something special like pancakes. I often drink tea or coffee to feel more awake. If I have time, I like to read a few news headlines. After breakfast, I clean up the dishes and wipe the table. Before leaving home, I always check if I have my phone, wallet, and keys. I usually leave home around 8 a.m. I walk to the nearest bus stop in my neighbourhood. If the bus is late, I use the time to review my to-do list. On the bus, I sometimes listen to music to relax. Other times, I scroll through social media or read a book. If the bus is crowded, I prefer to stand quietly. The ride usually takes about half an hour. When I arrive at work or school, I feel ready to start the day. I greet the people around me with a smile. The first thing I do is turn on my computer. I usually check my emails and messages before starting tasks. Sometimes I reply quickly to the most important ones. I like to write down a short plan for my work. If I have a meeting, I prepare my notes carefully. I often discuss projects with my colleagues or classmates. Sometimes we share new ideas to improve our work. I try to stay focused on one task at a time. If I feel a little tired, I take a short break. During breaks, I usually drink some tea or stretch my body. At lunchtime, I often eat with friends or co-workers. I usually have rice, vegetables, and some meat or fish. Sometimes I try a new dish or visit a different restaurant. We often talk about movies, travel, or family while eating. After lunch, I return to my desk and continue my work. I like to check my progress and see what I've completed. If I have questions, I ask for help politely. Sometimes I share my own ideas in a meeting or a group. In the afternoon, I try to finish my most important tasks. When I feel sleepy, I take a short walk to refresh myself. Before the day ends, I organise my desk and write notes for tomorrow. I usually leave the office or school around 5:30 in the evening. Before leaving, I say goodbye to my co-workers or classmates. Shadowing these daily sentences step by step makes me stronger in English. Each time I repeat, my pronunciation becomes clearer. The more I practice, the more natural I sound. I remind myself that English is a daily habit, just like brushing my teeth. When I finish work, I take the bus or walk back home. On the way, I sometimes listen to podcasts. Other times, I simply enjoy the quiet moments. When I arrive home, I take off my shoes and relax. I usually drink a glass of water or some juice. If I feel hungry, I prepare dinner quickly. I often cook simple meals like noodles or rice with vegetables. Sometimes I order food when I feel too tired. I like to eat dinner while watching a TV show. After dinner, I wash the dishes and clean the kitchen. If I have trash, I take it outside immediately. I sometimes spend time watching YouTube videos or movies. Other times, I read a book or listen to music. If I have energy, I do a short workout at home. Occasionally, I call my family to check how they are doing. I sometimes chat online with friends in the evening. Before going to bed, I prepare my clothes for the next day. I also write down a small list of tasks for tomorrow. I usually brush my teeth and wash my face before sleeping. If I have time, I read a few pages of a book in bed. I normally sleep around 11 p.m, but sometimes later on weekends. Before sleeping, I set an alarm for the next day. I try to think positively before closing my eyes. On rainy mornings, I sometimes feel lazy. If I am in a rush, I skip breakfast. I always take my umbrella if the sky looks cloudy. If the bus is crowded, I sometimes walk instead. At work, I focus on being productive and organised. If I make mistakes, I try to correct them quickly. When I finish a project, I feel proud of myself. Sometimes I stay late if I have a deadline. After work, I sometimes shop for groceries. I like buying fresh fruit and vegetables for meals. On weekends, I usually cook special dishes at home. I sometimes play games or write in my diary after dinner. On Fridays, I like to relax with a movie. On Saturdays, I clean the house in the morning. On Sundays, I rest and prepare for the week ahead. Practicing English every day makes me more confident. Shadowing sentences helps me connect words naturally. I know fluency takes time, but I don't give up. I remind myself that progress is more important than perfection. Mistakes are just part of learning and growing. I keep telling myself that each day I'm improving. English is not just a subject, it's part of my life. I practice because I want a better future. Learning English opens doors to new opportunities. Every time I shadow sentences, I feel stronger and more motivated. Step by step, I am moving closer to fluency. I believe in myself, and I know one day I will speak English confidently. When the day comes to an end, I like to reflect on what I have learned. Sometimes I sit quietly and think about the progress I made. Other times, I write down a few sentences to track my journey. I usually take a moment to be grateful for the small improvements. If I feel tired, I remind myself that practice is never wasted. Each repetition builds a stronger foundation for my English. I often tell myself that English learning is a daily exercise. Just like eating or sleeping, it becomes a natural habit. When I shadow sentences, I train both my brain and my voice. I practice speaking with energy and confidence. I listen carefully and then I repeat with focus. I try to match the rhythm and intonation of the speaker. Step by step, my pronunciation gets clearer. Day by day, my fluency improves. I know that mistakes are part of the journey. I do not worry about being perfect. I care more about progress than perfection. Every mistake teaches me something new. Every practice session makes me stronger. Every sentence brings me closer to fluency. I believe that English is not just a subject I study. It is a skill that opens doors in my life. It helps me connect with people all around the world. It gives me confidence to express myself freely. It creates opportunities for learning, work, and travel. So I continue to shadow every day. I continue to listen and repeat with energy. I continue to believe in myself and my growth. Step by step, I am moving forward. I know one day I will speak English naturally and confidently.